Whew. It's with a heavy heart that I'm doing this review today, but just finished watching The Following Season 2, Episode 7, called Sacrifice, and it's a doozy. It's a doozy, and I hope to Bob, not even God, to Bob, that when Lily gets what she's got coming for her, it comes, and then it comes, and then it comes, and then it comes. That's a crazy woman, but then I had a feeling her character was crazy when I saw her at Comic-Con. Wow. Alright. Here we go with the review. We see the woods, we see a car pulling up. It's Mike, not Mike, sorry. I'm thinking of Mike because of what happened at the end. I'm so sorry. It's just, this episode was rough. It was slow, but they had a lot of crazy things happening, but the episode was just, like I said, rough. So there's a car pulling up. It's Joe, Mandy, and Emma. They pull up to a no trespassing sign. Apparently, someone that Joe knows named Robert, who used to visit him from time to time when Joe was still in prison. He was like Roderick's recruit or whatever. Robert is a part of this crazy group, but I'll get to the crazy later. And like Joe says, this part of the season has literally become the international house of crazies, psychos. Just, these people are just nuts, completely nuts. There's something like this weird tension in the episode going on between Emma and Mandy. I'm sure it has to do with Mandy telling Emma about how Joe was having sex with Lily and everything. Joe thinks they're just going to be welcomed in with open arms. Apparently, these paramilitary, mercenary-looking guys all pull up in this like military tank, hop out. This woman pops out with this attitude and tells them to get on their knees and humble themselves, and they do it. These men put like black sacks over their heads and like Joe and Mandy and Emma's heads, and then just they just take them on. Like I said, this episode's rough. Alright. Keep going. Ryan goes into the FBI. Agent Mendez now finally believes that Joe is still alive, and she's all here for it. She says someone inside is helping Joe Carroll, that's inside of the FBI. Little does she know it's her lovely wife, Jana, but I'm sure when that happens, and when she learns all about that, it's going to be a big mess. A huge mess, and I don't think Agent Mendez will make it out of this season, to be honest. Joe is just, I think, Ryan's kind of just aggravated. He's like, listen, how can I trust you in the FBI? And Mendez is basically telling him, listen, Dr. Franklin is keeping you out of jail. Director Franklin is the Afro-American guy that appeared in the first episode or two. He's like the director. He wants Ryan alive in all of this. Okay. Mike Weston says that the FBI thinks that Lily's leaving the country. He just wants to leave. He wants to go. He just wants to go home. He's having like a bad time with everything is just happening to him. His personal life is going to hell. His just everything has just fallen completely apart. He just wants to believe because he believes that like he just lost it after Havenport and Deborah dying. Deborah was the agent that died at the end of season 1. If you haven't watched season 1, definitely watch season 1 and you'll really get to how Mike started out as this really sweet guy, and just with everything that happened, I think we all can understand that he just went completely crazy. Well, not even crazy, he's got a post-traumatic stress disorder going on with him, and he's just not all here at all. And if I was in this situation, I don't think I'd be all here either. The cult leaders snatch Joe and Mandy and Emma into like this room, make them take off their clothes and put on this white things and all these white clothes. This white and this color thing is just weird, just plain weird. Max is suspended from her position, but she claims that Ryan is obsessed with this whole situation, that he still has time, you know, and he can sit down and he can he can salvage his life. And even though, as Ryan says, he changed, he's gotten clean, he feels that he needs to be the one to find Joe, and or as Max says, kill Joe. He quit teaching, he's okay with being obsessed, but Max says, listen, this is your life, and it's very real. She said, you have family, you have me. Julia, who's the woman that is the, I guess, one of the leaders of this cult thing going on so far, and she makes Joe, Emma, and Mandy wear these masks that they look like those weird masks from the masquerade ball. It's like white and it's got like this pointy nose thing. She tells them to wear a mask to earn an identity, and they have to wear white even though everybody around them is wearing red, which is odd, extremely odd. Emma is kind of like Mandy's big sister, even though they have a little tension. Like, you could kind of see her being her big sister and all this craziness, and I guess if this wasn't crazy, they would probably be really, really close. But Max is driving into an underground garage or something, and she sees a child being abused by the father, and the father is like, look in here. He's like putting his face in, like, look in here, look what you did, blah 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 blah. The kid turns, or she goes to the kid and she says, is everything all right? The kid turns around, he has a camera. The father puts this thing over her face, grabs her, and puts her right into the trunk. Now, the father's played by Lee Tergesen, who used to be on Oz years ago. I had actually a funny story with that, but a couple years ago when I was still working at the job where I was working, he actually came in. It was like in June, I think May or June, and he said something about liking my outfit. I just remember that it was just funny. It was like I had these shorts and the shirt. I worked at American Apparel, so I had to wear a lot of like colorful, strange, weird clothes all the time, and it was just kind of weird. But he seemed pretty cool. He was pretty nice and everything. It was like, I think it was the day after Michael Jackson had died. That was the day he came into the store, so it was a funny, funny, funny story. I had to tell you some more stories. I'm definitely going to make a video about that whole situation. I'm going to make a video later. Back to the following. The kid, like I said, he films it, and the father binds her wrists and ankle with like, I think it's like black scotch tape, dark scotch tape. I'm thinking electrical tape. Could have been electrical tape too. I'm not sure. Ryan's at home. It's a text message from Lily saying, you take from me and I take from you. She sees a video that little boy basically took, and he basically sees Max being tied up and everything and put in a trunk and everything. Okay. The scene goes back to two young girls. They have to at least be 16, 15. They're sitting there painting themselves with like body paint or something. But because it's Fox, we don't see that much. But if this was another channel, I'm sure we'd see some nudity somewhere in there, which means this so-called leader, Micah, who Joe has to go see, is a weirdo and probably a pedophile and just like David Koresh type crazy, Charles Manson type crazy. He says, blessed are the children and the girls leave. I'm like, I don't know what he's doing with those girls, but listen, dude, whatever you're into, hey, you go right ahead and do that. I have no beef with you, dude. Okay, as long as you keep your crazy over there. No, scratch that. Do that with older girls. Being with little girls, but then, you know what, their parents might be into it. Hey, you go ahead, but I wouldn't put my kid in it. I don't agree with them, put my kid in it, but if you're going to put your kid in it, hey, knock yourself out. Joe and Micah meet. Joe's about to sit at the table when Micah's eating. He says, oh, you can't sit at my table. He kind of makes fun of Joe. Micah, he's kind of making fun of him because he has like a thing against him. I guess I don't know if he's jealous. Maybe he's taking advantage of the fact that Joe's little compound, his collective, his people, or so Micah thinks, because I'm sure there's more followers somewhere else. They've all been caught. Now Joe is between a rock and a hard place, so he figures he can kind of get over on him. I guess he doesn't know Joe like we all do. He basically wants to know how Joe did what he did. Like, how did he get the people to follow him and everything? I was like, listen. Mike is asking, what can you offer me? He said, this is the Micah show. You need to be down. I said, excuse me. If he had just gone like this, I would have been done. You need to be down. That's what he shows, I swear. Joe needs his help, basically, and he offers his service and his hospitality. And no, he offers his service for hospitality. So I'm like, okay, Joe, what's your plan? Because Joe Carroll always has a plan. Mike comes back to help out to find Max. Mendez calls him back in. Ryan feels like they're wasting time trying to do facial recognition and all this stuff. So Max is tied up by her wrists. She's by this crazy guy who keeps like inquiring about her tattoo. And then he shows her these plaques with like slabs of like a swatch of skin with a tattoo, which means whoever the hell he killed, he cut their skin off with the tattoo. Ugh. These crazies. Every time they introduce a new crazy, I'm just like, dude, like, what is going on with this? Oh, it's gross. So they're at the hospital. Ryan goes to see Luke. Now, for those of you who thought that Luke was dead, I had a feeling he wasn't dead because Max saved his life. Max put that gun basically to Mike's head and was like telling him to stop punching him, because if Mike had kept going, we wouldn't have Luke. But anyway, Luke is still alive. Looks like hell with purple bruises all on his face and his mouth all messed up, but he's basically like chained to a bed, so there's nowhere he can go, and the FBI has him on like 48 hours watch, so there's no way he's going anywhere. So Luke finds out from Ryan that he needs his help to find that crazy guy that took Max. Luke sees the picture and says, if you are looking for him, you must really be in trouble. He says something about Lily has been looking around for a lot of princes and how she likes Brian and how there's so many toads out here, some weird thing. So basically Lily's been auditioning killers. Lots and lots of killers. Ever since I saw that chick on Comic-Con, like, the way she was sitting there, she just had this smirk on her face. And I'm not speaking of Connie Nielsen, but just, like, the way she was sitting when they were answering questions, she just had this, like, straight line smirk. I'm like, you know that there's some crazies coming and you can't say anything. I said, you suck, because you can't say anything. I was like, damn it. Luke is basically an a-hole, because he is. And, apparently, this guy, his name is Kurt, he has the hots for Lily and he'll do anything for her, according to Luke. And basically Luke says that this guy is pretty crazy. Now, as I said before in a previous video, if crazy is telling you that crazy is crazier than them, Houston, we have a problem. A la Emma, because Emma was talking about how crazy Lily was and Emma hit the nail on the damn head. The FBI finds out that this guy's name is Kurt, and he's known as the Huntsman. He shoots and hunts and shoots and kills prostitutes. Not only does he kill them, he guts them and skins them just like they are like deer or something in the woods that you shoot and kill. I'm not for the shooting and killing of animals and the thing. I'm a cat lover. I'm an animal lover. No, but and then doing it to humans. It's horrible doing it to animals, and you start doing it to humans, it's like you've gone from craziest to crazier. Like, ugh. His name is Kurt Boland from Trenton, New Jersey. In the words of Whitney Houston, God, I miss being Bobby Brown. You would be from New Jersey. All the crazies are from New Jersey on this show. A lot of them are. Oh my God. Julia, who's that lady, puts Joe up to a lie detector, but he claims it won't work because he's too smart. The FBI bursts into Kurt's house. They don't see him. So then his wife basically is there, and she's like freaking out. She's like, oh my God. And he says, listen. He said, where's your husband? He went away for a few days. So Mendez tries to talk to the wife, who apparently Kurt is lying to, saying that when he goes away, he's on business. I said, yeah, he's on some business, some crazy business. But the son knows, and Ryan realizes the son, Chris, basically helped out with this. And he also realizes that Chris is the one that took the videotape of Max being kidnapped. So Chris, like, starts talking out of his head, like, he only takes whores and he gives them what they deserve. I was like, listen. Like, listen. And next thing you know, Ryan and Mike lock the door. You hear the kids screaming when they unlock the door. The kid's all tied up with like a zip tie. It's funny as hell. He's like screaming and scared. I'm like, yeah, you were big and bad, right, little boy? Joe took the lie detector and says that it's very sexual when he kills a woman. Well, we know that from season 1. But those who haven't seen season 1, watch season 1. He definitely gets a kick out of killing people. And you get to see how he began his brand of crazy. Because that first season threw me for a loop completely. He wants to be a part of Micah's flock. He wants a new life, and when the lie detector's over, Julia won't tell him the results, which is pretty funny. Julia tells Michael, oh, he's all truth, but to us, and I'm saying this to us people watching this, us fans, this chick knows nothing about Joe at all. I just feel sorry for Max, and Kurt claims that he's doing a favor for a friend, and Max tries to get him to skip the hunt and just, he says he's going to skip the hunt and just go straight for the after party, but Max is just like, listen, if you kill me and you hunt me, you kill me, you get to bragging rights. This fool is like sitting here pondering it. Max wraps her legs around his neck, strangles him, then takes off running. Somehow she breaks the thing above her. I guess it's her military training. Breaks it. She's down. She's out of there. Takes off running. The FBI are on their way to the cabin. Kurt is after. They don't see Kurt. I think they just miss Kirk as Kurt is going off with his bow and arrow. Ryan sees that no one's there. Lily is supposed to be Miss Big and Bad, as my mom was saying. Before I even get to this part, she said Lily's supposed to be is big and bad, but she has everybody working for her and doing all her work. I was like, that's one thing about Joe Carroll. He had a few people doing his work, but there were things that he did do himself. She's right about that. Max is running. Kurt is chasing her with an infrared, like, goggles or something on top of the bow. We get back to Mandy, Joe, and Emma, who are led to, like, this weird area with this altar with like this thing with horns or something. It's this weird thing. And Emma's like, are we okay? And Joe's like, yes. He's like, I think. All these people with these black hoods start walking over to, and they're throwing these pokers in this little they dug like a hole for a fire, and they're all in that. And I'm just like, what did Joe Carroll get you all into? I don't even know myself. Max is hiding in plain sight. She found a little area and she's like hiding under it. Like, again, that military training is definitely coming, it's helping her out. Mike finds Max, and because she yells his name, she's like, Mike, Mike, and he comes running over, and that dude with the bow is like there. He's about to shoot either Max or Mike when Ryan shoots him, and he's dead, laying there floating in the water. And I'm like, good riddance to bad rubbish, but I just don't want to know what next crazy Miss Lily has already brought into fruition, because I don't want to see any more nuts, even though I know there are. Like, I don't want to see anyone right now. We just need a little break after this episode, because this episode was rough, extremely rough. Okay, here comes Micah, because they're back at the little powwow by the fire. Tonight, we rejoice as family. We will be one step closer to going home. And I'm like, crazies again, of course. Mandy's like, where is home? And Joe's like, hell if I know. I'm like, oh, shoot, that's it there, Joe. Joe and his one-liners this episode are ridiculous. Now, you know it's bad if Joe is cracking jokes. I said, this is ridiculous. This woman walks up with this tuning fork, and I'm like, what the hell is she doing? And she goes, and then she goes past Joe and Emma, and she goes like back and forth. Find out who's ready to go home, and she stops right in front of Emma, and I said, damn. I said, karma is coming to get you. Karma is coming to get you. I said, oh, God. I said, oh, no, Emma. Wow. So I'm like, bye, Emma. They grab her, lay her on this pointy thing, like this flat standing up board thing that's like got devil horns at the top, lay her on this thing, tie her to it, lay her back, and they spin her around, I guess, till she's like facing this way, because I guess she's facing this way and she faces this way, lay her back, and then this dude comes up and slices both her wrists and drains the blood into like a colander or something. And I'm like, bye, Emma. I said, karma's something else. So Julia is kind of playing games with Joe because Emma bleeds out, and at this point, I'm like, you know what, Emma's dead. I'm like, this was something that was coming, but it was still a surprise. Like, I figured we had maybe another couple seasons before Emma got killed off or whatever the hell happened this season, and I'm just like, all right, here we go. I said, listen, okay, Julia goes to Joe, because Joe calls for Julia, and he said, what the hell was that? Why did you kill her? And she's like, I think it was an introduction to our way. She said, Emma's still alive. You'll see her soon. And I'm just like, this heifer has no idea what Joe is capable of, the things that Joe can do. If it only took, like, Joe maybe a day to destroy Lily's little international house of crazies, how long is it going to take him right when he's angry to destroy this cult? Not very long. All he has to do, I think, is take out maybe Micah and maybe take out Julia, and he'll run it. Get control. He has control of Robert, but Robert's just kind of like his back turned and everything, so Robert's kind of like pushed back, but I think Joe could definitely take over and make this group into his own. But all right. So Lily sends a text and says, hello, Ryan. I'm sorry about your niece, because she thinks that Max is dead, but Max isn't. I have one more surprise. Apparently she's at Mike's father's house, and the father is just like, screw you and such, and Max cuts, not even Max, Mark cuts Mike's father's neck. And I'm just like, damn. You know, with Emma dying, I was pretty out of it. Because I was like, damn, I thought we had more time with this one. She had started to kind of change. Even though Karma was coming, I figured Karma would give some time. But my thing is, get Lily now. Hopefully in the next episode or two, they get her and they get her behind good. Get her good. I'm done with her. It's one thing, you know, to go after Ryan, but you go after Mike, and then you kill his father, and I guess Mike's blaming himself because he's like, if he hadn't gotten pulled into this with Ryan, if the FBI hadn't come and just dragged him back up into this mess, his father would still be alive. Possibly. I really didn't like this episode for that one reason. I liked the episode up until the point where it ended, and it was like Mike's dad died, and it was hard to take. But either way, everyone involved in this is still intertwined, even if they walk away, and Mike is just destroyed. So this is yet another episode where a character cries, but this time it's a character that we all know and love. It's not Lily, because when Lily cried, I was like, I don't really care, Lily. You just keep it moving. She's taking out her rage on Ryan for killing Giselle, and I understand that, and possibly killing Luke, but Luke is still alive. She doesn't know that. The FBI made sure she doesn't know that, but my whole thing with that is just like, killing Mike's father just was really, really upsetting. How do I like this episode before I end this is the episode was pretty subdued. It was kind of relaxed up until those points when Emma died. Now, by the next episode, if they say that she didn't die, then fine. But to me, it looked like Emma was gone because she just faded away. Unless she passed out and they were able to stop the blood. Because it didn't look like they cut her too deeply, but then Emma might be gone, so I liked that. Like I said before, I liked the episode up until the moment when Mike's father died. Then it was a done deal. Anywho, guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Sage Valentine, a.k.a. Etherblade. Definitely check me out on twitter.com. I'm at Sage Valentine. And check out my blogs. The Truth is on WordPress, Rock and Roll Sister on Blogger, and just If you like my review and everything, I apologize for stepping over words and stuff, but just this episode was just so rough and if you haven't seen the episode, even though I've done this review, definitely watch it again, because I still can't believe it. But like I said, have a happy rest of your Monday and have an awesome Tuesday, and I should be back with my Walking Dead review. And later this week, I'm also going to do a Red Road review, a Survivor review, and a Hannibal review, and another Scandal review. So I'm glad you guys are all tuning in, and take care. And if you like my brand of crazy, definitely subscribe. So bye, guys. Bye.